Hi, everyone, and welcome. So, we're here, Melissa and Huma. Hi, Huma.
Hi, Melissa. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. So, we're just about ready to start with Community Corner today. So, Community Corner for motivating activities for primary. So, we've got lots of ideas for you, and we've got lots of community comments that we want to share with you. Some really nice ideas that other teachers have shared over the past while.
Yeah.
So, of course, motivating activities for primary. That's the course we'll be discussing. If you haven't signed up, do that now. Sign up is up until 17th of June. That's right. Yeah. So, we're going to talk about lots of different things today: games, vocabulary, songs, chants, everything that can motivate primary, really. So, we also really want to hear your comments, any questions you have. So, write in the chat, write in the comment section on YouTube or Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. So, Hima, what should we start with today?
Okay, so Melissa, let's start with something that we both enjoy doing, and that is picture dictation.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yep.
yeah, so
Great.
Melissa and I are going to demonstrate a picture dictation activity, and then you can tell us how you use picture dictation in your classroom with your primary learners. So,
Yeah.
Melissa, are you ready?
Yes, got my pen, got my
Okay,
paper, ready to go.
fantastic. So, Melissa, draw a big circle in the middle of the page.
Okay. Okay.
Please draw three eyes, one in the middle and two on the sides. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, silly things. My learners love silly things. So there's my big one in the middle,
Mine
two on the
too.
side as well. Okay, great. All right.
And a small triangle nose under the middle eye.
Fine. Okay, here's what it's looking
Oh,
like now.
I love that nose, Melissa. And some spiky hair like a star.
Okay. Yeah, he's beautiful.
Oh, lovely. Give it a big smile with
Hmm.
10 teeth showing.
All right.
Oh, that's lovely, Melissa. So, who's this, Melissa?
This could be my brother Michael. How about that? So, Michael, if you're watching, I hope you like my portrait.
Nice. Can you tell me a little bit about Michael?
Sure. So Michael has spiky hair. He's got
Mm,
three eyes. He's got a triangle nose. He's smiling, and he's got 10 big teeth.
nice. Anything you want to change about Michael?
No, I think he's perfect.
Well done, Melissa. Good job.
So, picture dictations, do you use them a lot? Do you use them to energize at the start of the class? So, what do you do with them, Huma?
Okay, I love picture dictation, Melissa. I think it works with all age groups, not just primary
Yeah,
learners. It works with all
yeah.
age groups. And I think it's also useful, because like we've been talking about energizing learners at the beginning of the lesson, and young learners love to draw, at least the majority, a lot of them, they love to draw and they can go wild, be creative, bring fun, colors, into the activity. So
Mm,
yes, I usually use them for introducing language. For example, here we were talking about the parts of a face. You could also
mm,
use them for introducing adjectives. You could also
mhm,
use them for introducing grammatical structures. There is, there are, it has got. So I think it's versatile.
mhm.
There are so many different uses.
Yeah, yeah, it's really, really nice. I mean, Module 1 talks about vocabulary for
Mm,
primary, and if we think about this activity, then the teacher could be talking and the students could be listening and drawing, but also the students could be speaking with a partner, and
mm,
I could be telling you what to draw, and that way they're practicing vocabulary through speaking. I especially like the face because it's useful to practice lots of vowels. You can practice all the diphthongs. You've got I,
yeah.
O, ow,
Mm-mm.
ear. So it's just a really a nice activity. And it energizes, right? But it's also it's bringing activity to the class, but it's quite controlled and it's quite
Yeah.
quiet. It's easy to manage. People are concentrating on what they're
Mm.
drawing. Yeah, I think it's nice to start a class with. Uh-huh. I really
Yeah, I
like
think
it.
it
Yeah.
yeah, I think it helps you refocus, to get your
Yeah.
learners to refocus, so and
Yeah.
if the class is noisy, when you start your lessons, perhaps it's going to
Hmm.
help you, turn that energy into something more positive and
Yeah.
refocus. So, yes.
Yeah, yeah, and that's another thing that Module One talks about actually is um, stirrers and settlers.
Mm,
Difficult word to say, stirrers. So stirrers
mm,
are the activities that energize at the start of the class, and we had quite a lot of comments about that
mm,
recently about how we can energize at the start. Um, I'll read one nice comment, and if you're watching, you can tell us, do you like what this community member said? So this community member said that at the start of the class, they used two truths and a lie, and the other students have to guess the lie. I guess it could be the
mm.
teacher or the students. That's a nice way to focus. Tell us what you think. Do you like that idea?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love the idea, Melissa, and I think it's nice
Uh-huh.
because one students can use text. Obviously, they can talk about it, they can write those two truths and a lie
Hmm.
and show it to their partner, or they could even mime. You could also bring
Yeah,
in gestures into the
yeah,
activity. So and someone I remember someone in the community commented that perhaps you can guess whether your partner is saying the truth or lying based on their body
yeah.
language. So yeah, so
Yeah,
I think why not?
true.
Yeah, yeah. So that can be
That's good.
interesting too.
So other people are saying in the comments, yeah, the activity's interesting. The kids are gonna love it. Yeah,
Mm,
I think they will. So definitely agree with you there. Um, Another comment that came in on the community in our Facebook group about energizing at the start talked about
mm,
TPR, so total physical
yeah.
response. And they said for early years with TPR, they do things like body parts, can and can't actions. So it would be like, can you swim? And then everyone swims.
Mm,
And can you jump? And then everyone jumps. And that's a nice way to build energy into routine at the start of the class as well, right? TPR, something you like? Tell us in the comments. We'd
yes.
like to know. How about you, Huma?
Yes, I mean, yeah, I mean, going back to that, yes, I mean, for the live audience, TPR is total physical response, meaning you use, your body, the body language, and use gestures, use mime to teach or practice the language or to make your lessons more engaging. So, I mean, in response
Mm.
to your question, Melissa, I love TPR. And I think someone in the community also talked about some songs and chants. For example,
Yeah,
if you're happy and, clap your hands, So,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah, so I think those action songs that you bring into the classroom, they are good examples of
Uh-huh.
using TPR with your learners.
Yeah, action songs comes up in Module 3. There's
Mm,
lots of cool ideas in Module 3 about action songs and chants and things like that. And yeah, I've seen quite a lot of comments about those. Actually, we did a poll
mm,
asking all of you in our Facebook group how you introduced chants and action into the class. So I think it was the thing that well, first I'll tell you the four options and I'll tell you what people voted for most.
mm,
So we asked how do you introduce rhymes into the classroom? The options were to use mimes and act.
mm.
So if you're doing row, row, row the boat, everyone would be rowing. Or if you're
Yeah,
doing Old MacDonald, then you'd have someone being a farmer, someone being the sheep. So options
sheep.
were:
Yeah.
do you use rhyme? Do you act? Do you vary your volume and your tone? So
Mm,
using your voice. Do you ask children to repeat one line at a time? Like you might be saying, do you brush your teeth? I brush my teeth. I don't brush my teeth. Do you brush your teeth? I do brush my teeth. So you'd be saying like a drilling activity, you
Mm.
say and they repeat. So miming, volume, voice, repeating, or playing videos of the rhyme so that
Oh,
they
yeah.
can get a visual, see an animation that's come from an online video. So the options, there were four options, and the most popular one, what do you think it was, Huma? Any ideas?
Mime and act.
It was,
Was it?
yeah, it was, it
Yeah.
was. Aha, aha. So, so many of you said that using
Mm,
miming and acting is what you use to introduce and get the children interested in chants and rhymes. So, yeah, definitely we agree. I think that it gives lower level learners something to
mm.
do. So if we're doing a song about brushing our teeth, everyone can brush their teeth. If some people can't say it yet, it's okay. So they can just do the actions along. Um, some people could be the people clapping on the beat. Do you brush your teeth? Do you brush your teeth? I brush
Yeah.
my teeth. So some people could be the clappers, some people can be the action making people, and then some of the more confident students are
The
saying the
actors, yeah.
words. Yeah, and then more and more children will start saying the words when they become more confident. Yeah, so yeah, I think that was a really nice poll. Thank you for your contributions on that.
Melissa, I'd like to add something there. I think we can also bring in props and flashcards,
Oh,
so when you
yeah, nice
introduce,
idea.
rhymes and
Uh-huh.
chants, so why not,
Hmm.
And maybe you could also tell your learners to bring something from their homes, something that's
Hmm.
culturally relevant for them, and
Hmm.
they could, and if I know, and if it suits the chant or the rhyme, so maybe you could, prepare your learner something like, set up a homework task saying that, have you got these objects at home? Can you bring them, for the next
Yeah,
lesson? So yes, so
yeah,
get your learners to bring objects from home, when you practice
yeah,
those rhymes and chants.
yeah. Maybe not a
We
toothbrush. That would have worked.
Why
Oh,
not?
but yeah, rhymes about food, and you could bring
Mm,
in, yeah, anything you want. There's some really nice
nice
comments coming
comments.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's take a look at them. Um,
yeah.
I see somebody saying um, that energizing is something they do with body gestures and face
Mm,
mimics. So yeah, using your body to do the actions of a song is really a good way to get everyone doing something active, looking at teacher, looking at the board. Yeah,
mm.
that's a good idea.
There's a comment.
And
There's a comment here, Melissa, about picture dictation. Going back to picture
oh
dictation, I think
yeah,
this is a very good
sure.
extension
Uh-huh.
activity. So this teacher says you can show the picture and then hide it, and then ask students to tell you what they saw in the
Mm,
picture. So basically, you test their memory.
yeah,
So it becomes a
yeah.
memory
So
activity.
So I'd be saying,
Oh yeah,
how many eyes does he have?
nice.
Do you remember?
Oh
Do you
yeah,
remember? Do you remember everyone? Three eyes. And then I say,
yeah.
okay, he's got three eyes. How many teeth does he have?
Mm.
And then we reveal he's got 10 teeth. So yeah, that's a lovely activity. Thank you so much for sending it in. That's great. Um,
Mm.
let's go, let's go to
Actually,
another.
Melissa, there are a few more ideas. There's another
Sure.
community member who says we could also use word wall games and activities. Of course, if your learners
Uh-huh.
have access to technology and
Sure.
spinning wheels to motivate them and to also manage groups in the classroom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great ideas. I mean, some teachers get worried that using technology is too difficult for primary, but Wordwall,
Mm,
really easy to
yeah.
use. I definitely think that primary learners can use Wordwall. Yeah, yeah, nice idea. Um,
Philippa, there's a
let,
question here.
yeah.
Sorry, there's a question here actually for us. The question is, what's another engaging activity for speaking skills would you recommend? Mm, a tough one.
Okay.
There are so many activities.
Yeah. We could share an activity that was talked about in the community actually, and it's
Yeah.
three words. Do you remember
Mm,
that activity, anyone? Um, we mentioned this in a Facebook post, and I'll give you an example. Okay, so you can use objects in your class, or you can say three
mm,
words. So three words I'm going to tell you are frog, book,
mm.
river. Okay,
Nice.
frog, book, river. And the activity is for the students in their group. So I think 4 or 5 people work well here. They have to think and then say a sentence that uses all the three words. Um, it takes a bit of time, so they're settled and they're thinking, but we got some really cool answers in the community when we played this. Um, I'm going to read one answer that a teacher wrote. My book dropped into the river and a frog sat on it. So then the game is that that person has to give another three words
Mm,
for the next person. It's a chain activity. So that person says cupcakes, baked, tasty. And then the next teacher in the community said, I baked some really tasty cupcakes, but no one wanted them. And then they
mm,
say noisy, playground, green, and the next person has to carry it on. Um, I like it. It's really creative. It's not for younger primary learners. It's for
mm.
learners who can kind of already make full connected sentences.
Yeah.
But it's engaging because it's really funny. It's really funny to
Mm.
listen to other people's sentences. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
love
like
the
that a lot.
idea, Melissa. There's another activity that I'm reminded of, Melissa, and that's from module 2 of our course. And that talks about, oh, have we lost Melissa here? Okay, I'm sure Melissa is going to join us back soon. Um, so there's another activity from module 2 that's called Kim's game, and the activity is that you show different objects to your learners or vocabulary, a list of words on the board, and learners have to remember what they are, and then you take them away, you take the objects away, and then learners have to recall what those words were or what those objects were, and then they could choose, the extension activity could be that you get them to choose 2 3 of those objects and maybe act out a story, or maybe write a story, well, or maybe even a short poem if you've got them to work on poems in your previous lessons. So there are different ways we could work with those. Oh, Melissa's back, thank God. Melissa, I mean, I lost you for a bit.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, I'm really sorry, everyone. I could
Oh,
hear
that's
you,
all
but you
right.
couldn't see me. But yeah, sounds great. Sounds great, Huma, what you're describing. Yeah,
Yeah, that's from our course, Melissa, module 2. It talked about Kim's
nice.
game. And I think there were a few other
Mm,
activities too in module 2, bingo activity, of course.
yeah,
Yeah, and matching words with pictures. And a
yeah.
couple of weeks ago, Melissa and I talked about find someone who. Now, usually we
Mhm,
think that activity is not meant for primary learners, which is not true. It can be very, very simple. For example,
mhm,
find someone who has a brother, or who has a
mhm,
sibling, so
mhm.
it can be very, very simple sentences that learners can go around,
Yeah,
asking each other, so simple questions. So yeah, I mean, you
yeah.
could use even find someone who, why not?
Yeah, I think definitely, definitely.
Oh,
There
we
was
got
another
lots of
question
comments.
discussed in the community, and it was really
Mm,
nice. And it was, what types of writing activities motivate
mm,
for primary learners? I think that, yeah, teachers really want to share
mm,
different writing activities because we run out of them, right? And we want
yeah.
new ones. Um, I liked some of the activities that people wrote in posts. Lots of you wrote about kind of personal writing activities. Like somebody said that an activity they do is to describe a family member and draw a picture of it. Another person said you could write about your own daily life,
Mm.
real, and then imaginary. So your own daily life normally, and then what you do in the day if you were an alien or if you had
Mm.
$1 million. And yeah, those are personal, but they've got a lot of creativity. Uh-huh. So if you've got any more, send them in now. Write them in the comments. We would love to know.
Melissa, I'd
Uh,
like to add something there.
mm,
I think there's also a word of caution because when we choose activities, we also have to be sometimes careful because we could have young learners in our classrooms who might have experienced trauma. So maybe there
mm,
are learners who've who've been in conflict or suffered family loss or maybe other difficult events in their life. So I think as teachers we also have to be careful when we choose activities. Whether they are engaging fun. Maybe draw and write activities. So make sure that we adapt them to the different backgrounds of our students in our
yeah.
classroom.
Yeah, that's one thing the course is really good for, talking about how
Mm,
to adapt things. And I like the community comments about the kind of more creative writing tasks because sometimes it's not nice to write about your
mm,
own life. But if you can write
mm.
about an imaginary life, someone else's life, then
Oh
that could
yeah.
be a nice way to go into a nice place. So yeah, those were really nice ideas. Another writing activity that came up was doing acrostic poems. Those are cool. Do
Mm.
you know how to do those?
Are you asking me, Melissa, or the audience?
Yeah, oh, the audience, both of you, all of you. Is that something you've done before?
Yeah, yeah, I have, and I think they work really well because they can be short, so
Yeah.
acrostic poems can be short, yeah, and they can be easy. And you could actually get your learners to just use the vocabulary from the previous lessons. For example, if you've
Mm.
taught them colors or adjectives, they could use those to create those poems.
Yeah, I really like doing color acrostic poems actually.
Mm,
So choose the word green, and in
mm.
the GREEN, you need to
And
think of lots
yeah,
of green things. They don't need to be sentences,
exactly,
just words. Or you choose
exactly.
the word blue, and they only have
Mm,
to think of four words that are blue.
mm.
Somewhere is a B, somewhere is an L, somewhere is a U, somewhere is an E.
Yeah.
That works really well. We got a cool writing activity suggested. It says it's called the speech bubbles activity. Okay,
Mm,
I like it. And the community member says choose a picture of people or animals in the course
mm.
book and ask students to come up with a mini dialogue between them. Oh, by drawing speech bubbles.
Yeah.
Uh, I like that. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
fun.
Yeah, thank you for that. I love
Um,
that.
there's another idea here, Melissa. Sorry, I missed this one.
That's
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah. There's another comment, and this is about using raps. This
Uh-huh.
community member says you can perform rap, and somehow they can appreciate you if you can do some rap too. So
Yeah, yeah, try it out. Rap doesn't need to be hard. It can just be
yeah,
talking to the beat. Like, do you wash your face?
exactly. Yeah.
Do you wash your face? Just can be really easy. I think it's fun.
Mm,
You can find on YouTube kind of background music that helps a lot. You can also find on YouTube, don't tell anyone, raps that are already made and then you just need to sing along. And so if you're not feeling confident, those are good ones. Yeah. Raps are essentially chants, are they? They're
yeah.
repeating, they can be
Mm.
grammar chants, just repeating a question, an affirmative answer and a negative answer. Yeah, can work well. Uh-huh. I think there was a couple of comments about kind of action and drama in the community. Um, and yeah, somebody said last week that when they do kind of an action song, they have all the students seated in a circle and the teacher says one line and everyone says one line. and then they go around the circle saying
Mm.
the line of a song or one line of a song each. And yeah, if you can move your desks in the classroom to have that circle position to do a
Yeah.
song, yeah, it sounds really, really fun. That would be really good. Uh-huh. I like that. Uh,
Yeah,
role
and
plays, someone is
Melissa,
saying. Yeah,
oh yeah. And also, Melissa, we
yeah,
haven't
role
talked
plays.
about
Great.
the settling activities yet, the calming activities. I think there were some
Hmm.
suggestions from the community about for those as well.
Yeah, there were. Somebody said, so a settler is
Mm,
something that you use kind of to calm down whenever you need it.
mm,
Might be in the middle of the class when everything's just a bit loud,
yeah.
or it might be at the end of the class, right? When you just want to take a moment so that the class
Yeah.
finishes and everyone is at a
Mm,
low energy level. So
yeah.
the community member comment about that is really nice. Let's try it, everyone. It says, close your eyes and imagine you're walking along a beach. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice, right? I like that. I
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
Maybe every day the teacher could choose a different place. The first day it could be the
Mm,
beach. The second day it could be in the forest. The next day it could be in the mountains.
mm,
Um, yeah, that would be a really nice way
mm.
to end a class. Thank you for sending that in. Um, I
Yeah, that's a
have you got
very good
any
idea.
calming activities that you like, Huma?
Yes, I think something similar that we discussed now, Melissa, where we get learners to close
Yeah.
their eyes. And actually, sometimes I tell them, can you think, close your eyes and think about your recent, memory, your happiest memory in the past,
Hmm.
and then they could even draw. They don't have to do anything, they don't have to talk about it, but
Yeah.
maybe they open their journals and they simply
Yeah.
draw. And if they want to do anything with it, they could finish it at home and show it to me, in the following lesson. That's something that I
Yeah.
get them to do as well. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, I like to get them to draw a lot. I do get my young,
Uh-huh.
learners to draw a lot. So usually my
Uh-huh.
calming activities involve drawing.
Yeah.
So close your eyes, think of, what comes to your mind first. Can you draw? So.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I mean, Module 2 talks about word bags. Um,
Mm,
and actually drawing little pictures to put in your word bags could be a good idea.
mm.
And word bags can be something like an old wallet, and then you put
Oh,
words
yes.
in them. Or they could be things like a plastic folder and you put words in. So yeah, adding things to your word bag is a nice settler. Give everyone three little pieces of paper. Homer would ask them to draw the word, you write the words, and then everyone comes and puts it into the word bag, and then something to start the next class with.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
Actually,
nice, calming way to end. Yeah, I like that.
yeah, yeah, that reminds me, Melissa. I just grabbed my son's cookie box, this morning when we were planning, for our live session. So yeah, you could
Uh-huh.
also use cookie boxes, get your learners to bring something from home and add different objects to the box, and that could
Ooh.
be a calming activity too. So they pull out objects and they think
Mhm.
about how they associate themselves with that object and maybe draw or even write about it, just one sentence, or a few words in their journals. And like Melissa
Yeah.
said, they could drop it back, in the box or the envelope, and that could be your warmer
Mhm.
activity for the next lesson.
Mhm. Yeah, in general, an individual activity
Mm,
is a good settler. I think we're coming to the end of our live
mm.
session now. It's been great. We've just finished Community Corner for motivating activities for primary. Um, I hope we've celebrated all the comments that you wanted us to. I hope we've given you some ideas, and I hope we've motivated you to go into the course, take notes, take a look at what activities there are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you so much for coming today. We'll see you again
Yeah.
next week for the next live event about technology. Um, yeah, so please keep the energy alive. We'll see you in the community. You take care and bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
How to use guides on Facebook. Open the menu at the top of the British Council Courses for Teachers group on Facebook. Then tap on Guides. Here are guides. In a guide, you'll find discussion posts, videos, resources and information for a specific course. Guides for current courses are near the top. Look further down to see guides for all our courses. Tap See all posts to open a guide. Interact with posts as usual, tapping to comment, open videos and links or to see more text. After contributing to a discussion, watching a video, or downloading a resource, record your progress by marking posts as done. Just tap the Done button under the post and see the status change. This helps you to see all the posts connected to your course, so you don't miss anything. Check the guide for your course regularly.